Hello, WFAN Daily with your host, Pete Hoffman. Breaking news. If you just found out, if you just woke up, whatever the case is, if you're following right now, Kyle Tucker has made a decision, and it is not to go to Queens. It is not to go to Toronto. Surprisingly, shocking enough, he is going to the LA Dodgers. And let me just make this clear. Okay? I complain a lot about the LA Dodgers and their deferrals. This is why. When you're a team, and again, think about this really quickly before we go into anything else. Just the point being made. If Shohei Ohtani was really getting paid $70 million this year, they would not be able to sign Kyle Tucker to this deal. Because right now, the Dodgers' total payroll is somewhere around $413 million with this Kyle Tucker deal. Okay, with all the luxury taxes and everything included, it's upwards to over $400 million. Shohei Ohtani would put that to over $500 million. The deferrals saved their ass to be able to do moves like this. But now, let's move forward. Kyle Tucker, you jerk. You screwed us. Well, you didn't screw us. The game screwed us because David Stearns is playing a game right now. He is playing this tightrope game. He doesn't really want to risk a lot of money. I know you have Steve Cohen, the richest owner in baseball, or one of the richest owners in baseball, clearly, because the Dodgers continue just to add up payroll, and payroll doesn't make a difference. But David Stearns does not want to play these type of games. Yes, he has the luxury of Steve Cohen to knock on that door and say, hey, Steve, I see a player and pinpoint the player. We could pick him up. Now's the time to scoop in. But he only wants to play ball with this little box of 3 years. Maybe I'll go 4. That was the rumor today, was maybe David Stearns and the Mets maybe go 4 years. But he can't get out of his own way. And that's what's screwing up this offseason. I don't really care so much about Kyle Tucker. It's not the philosophy about, I can't believe the Mets missed out on Kyle Tucker. Yes, Kyle Tucker would have been a good asset to the Mets. Kyle Tucker would have made the Mets a better team right now. Of course. Would he have solved all the problems? No. But he would have made the Mets a better team. But the philosophy that's gone on this offseason is, once we hit this 3-year mark, I kind of don't want to make a deal for anybody, has cornered the Mets into an area where they're just stagnant and they're waiting around to wait for the market to fall to them. And I keep saying this, and I don't know who needs to hear this. The New York Mets are not a destination people want to go to. I'm sorry. It's not the case. No one is choosing the Mets over anywhere else. If it's Toronto, who was just in the World Series, the Dodgers, who just won the World Series again, 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row, they have a stacked team. If it's comparable money, no one is choosing the Mets. And it sucks to say, but that is the reality. So, David Stearns, you have to realize you can't play these games. You don't have the leverage you think you have. If anything, you're going to have leverage with lower tier players, but that's not going to make the team better. Like Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker, who is better? Clearly, Kyle Tucker is better. You may have to pivot to Cody Bellinger, but now you're going to pay Cody Bellinger $40-50 million a year for a 3-year deal? You're going to overpay for him for a guy that, let's be honest, Kyle Tucker is a better all-around player, a more consistent player. Cody Bellinger has had many years. He got non-tendered from the Dodgers. A former MVP, Rookie of the Year, got non-tendered from the Dodgers. They said, we don't want anything for you. We don't want you on this team anymore. Just go somewhere else because that's how bad he was playing. And he's next in line. This to me is just complete idiocracy. It's stupidity. It is being stubborn. It is biting your nose to spite your face. Does that make sense? Biting your face to spite your nose. I don't know what the saying is. Who cares? It's stupid. You can call me stupid, but I don't care. I realize what's going on here. David Stearns doesn't know how to play this game. He doesn't get it. And you could say, hey, listen, he's being smart. You got to play this. You have to play this game. You have to be business-like. You can't just go overpay for people because you want them. But that's kind of how it goes. I'm sorry. Scott Boras continues to get his clients paid. Doesn't make it. Pete Alonso got paid. Okay? Pete Alonso got paid. And everybody that is, a big ticket item is getting paid. So if you want to build a team that's competitive this year, you kind of have to pay people. I'm sorry. And I'm taking Evan's line, but it's a reality. Get uncomfortable. Yeah, 4 or 5 years, so be it. If Kyle Tucker was so good that you were thinking about paying him $150 million for 3 years. By the way, he got more from the Dodgers. The AAV was $60 million. That's what he got. For 4 years, he got $60 million per year, $240 million. So already the Dodgers said, F you. Here's your FU money, okay? If you're willing to go that high as it is and think that Kyle Tucker is a player that is a game changer, or because that's what $50 million or $60 million a year is. To me, that's game changing money. You are a game changer. If you're worth that much money, if he's that good and worth that much money, then it doesn't make a difference if it's a 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 year deal. You go spend the money. You could tell me, oh, but that's stupid. He's not worth it. None of these people are worth it. It's all toy money here. It's monopoly money. It doesn't make a difference. But if he's that good and he's that much of a game changer, why are we penny pinching? Why are we sitting here and saying, like, I'll only go this much. I'll only go that much. And you're right. There's a difference between $40 million. But when you're talking about a 15 billionaire guy, the guy that has $15 billion or more, maybe it's even 20 billion, whatever Steve Cohen has, it's a lot more than I do. I'll tell you that much. $40 million is, $100 to you and me, maybe 1,000. $40 million is nothing. You could easily match that. You go and say, we will match and do better. That's it. And the story. And it's not like, Kyle Tucker clearly chose the Mets. No, he chose the money. Clearly chose the Dodgers. He chose the Dodgers because A, they just won a World Series and are looking to do it again. B, they gave him the most money. I don't know what Toronto offered, but I know they were talking about 10 years. They could have offered him 10 years, $240 million. It sounds like the Mets were only doing like 52 or 53 for 4 years, something like that. I don't know. I know it was more than he wanted more than Juan Soto per year. And Juan Soto was 51 mil AAV. He wanted at least 52. He got 60, which, by the way, is stupid. Kyle Tucker is not a $60 million player. And that's the other thing, okay? We can sit here and debate all day how screwed up, David Stearns messed this thing up. He's been messing up this whole entire offseason. I'm sorry. Anybody want to give him praise for what he's done so far? You can go F off. Because losing Pete Alonso, losing Edwin Diaz, trading for Marcus Semien, and signing Jorge Polanco and not touching the starting pitching, so far, this is a really bad offseason. Kyle Tucker was not going to make it an A+, but it would have gotten it to at least a level playing field. Like, okay, we're somewhat stable now. We got the bullpen to where it kind of was with Devin Williams and blanking on Weaver. Weaver, bringing Weaver in, Luke Weaver from the Yankees. Okay, we got those two guys in to replace all the people that left. especially Edwin Diaz. And okay, Jorge Polanco, Marcus Semien, Kyle Tucker, it's not the same, but at least you got bodies. We don't even have bodies right now in the outfield. Think about that. And we have the same starting pitching as we had last year, which was awful. Like, you don't miss the playoffs and then be like, we're going to get rid of two of the best pieces that were on the team last year in Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso. Just let them go and then run the rest of it back. You don't do that. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're running back this team right now. We still got a month to go, I understand. But it doesn't feel comfortable. There's nothing so far this offseason. You can't sit there and be like, oh, there's still a lot of time left. I'm sorry, but there's a month to pitchers and catchers. They've had plenty of time to sit around and figure out where this market's heading and who you want to go after and what your targets are. And so far, it's been nothing. And now you miss. Now it's a big miss. I don't really know if there was another miss so far this offseason. Edwin Diaz was a miss. Pete Alonso was a non-contender. You had no interest in him. This was a miss. You put up and you made an effort. Now, was it a game? Was Kyle Tucker and crew playing a game, trying to up his AAV, his ante, trying to get as max money as possible? Yeah, you could have been a pawn in this. Okay, that's a possibility. Did you want to play the game or did you really want the player? Because if you wanted the player, you got to go all in. And that's where I am now pressing David Stern saying, what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to accomplish? If you want, I don't like Kyle Tucker that much that he needed to be a New York Met. But if that's what the big ticket item was for you, if that's what you were going for, you can't swing and miss. And that's what you did. It's getting embarrassing. You got a high payroll and you got nothing to show for it. You got two players. You got you have Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. That's it. Those are your two big ticket items. There is nothing on the Mets team right now that screams, wow, elite player, elite team. It's just not good. It really is not. So we're sitting here right now. It's January 15th. The news of Kyle Tucker came out. And again, you saw Steve Cohen with the smoke tweet about, hey, let me know when the smoke comes out. And I don't know if that was him either A, listening to the Carton Show, because we're talking about we were going to find out very, very soon by today whether or not Kyle Tucker was going to come to the Mets. And by 6:05, which was the prediction that Carton had, if we didn't know by then, it didn't feel very good that he was going to go to the Mets. And that's what happened. He went to the Dodgers. But Steve Cohen with that tweet around like 7:30 or whatever it was with let me know when you see the smoke. I knew something was up. I knew something was there. Either there was an offer there or something. I don't think Steve Cohen will go out there and troll the Met fan and be like, hey, by the way, here's some smoke for you guys. Nothing's happening. I think Steve Cohen was definitely involved. And I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't like the criticism of David Stearns as a small market GM, small market president, and Steve Cohen had to step in. I know. We only praise David Stearns when he screws up. We praise talk about David Stearns when he screws up. And then when, Steve Cohen, when something good happens, we praise Steve Cohen. Well, thank you for your money. I'm sorry. I don't believe that David Stearns really wants these players. I really don't. I think he's got a strategy in mind and doesn't really want to cross that playing field. He doesn't want to cross that line. He's drawn this line and that is it. But Steve Cohen, being the guy he is like, hey, I'm checking in, see what's going on. Well, Kyle Tucker's available. Why are you not going for him? Is he not a good enough player? Is he somebody that and then you see the metrics and you see the why he is a good player and you go, oh yeah, we probably can get him. Well, I'll give you the money. Why don't you try to go for him? I think it's as simple as that. I don't think it's Steve Cohen telling him he has to get him, but just having that conversation of why aren't we going for him? Which is basically what I think I'm doing and you were doing as a fan, saying, why were we not going for Kyle Tucker? Could someone explain that to me? But again, he missed. He whiffed and he missed. He didn't go hard enough because he doesn't care. He didn't want this guy. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. David Stearns does not want to go away from what he has planned. And right now, what he has planned is what you see on paper. And there might be another deal that comes his way. That's what I'm saying. Like, Cody Bellinger, is that really the backup plan? No. You want to know why? Because Cody Bellinger's playing hardball with the Yankees. He's not budging. The Yankees have offered 5 years to Cody Bellinger. He says he wants 7. Well, the Mets aren't going to get involved with that. We're talking about a 5-year contract already that he's declined. Mets aren't going to get involved there. Bo Bichette's talking about big money. Mets aren't going to get involved there. There is no free agent offensively the Mets are going for. And well, I'm sure there's been a lot of minor league free agents. I've seen a lot of minor leaguers get signed in the past few days by the Mets. It's unbelievable. I don't think I've actually seen any other team sign as many minor leaguers as the Mets do every offseason under David Stearns. They signed some guy, McGuff, or whatever his name is. I mean, you name it, they just keep on doing that. And that is the frustration thing. Like, I'm sorry. This, to me, was just smoke and mirrors. And you could get pissed and say, well, that's just stupid. You don't understand what David Stearns is trying to do. Why would he overpay? He's not really that much money. You never give David Stearns the credit because it's a BS game. I don't believe him for 1 second. I'm sorry. I see through the lies. Nobody else sees it. Everyone's sitting there going like, oh, but this is smart. He's very smart at what he does. Really? Out of nowhere. You couldn't offer Pete Alonso or Edwin Diaz proper amounts of money. You couldn't say, well, Pete, listen, we really don't want to pay you for more than 3 years, so we'll give you $150 million for 3 years. Well, we can't do that. We only see you as a 3-year player, or offer major deferrals for 3 years, or whatever the hell it is. Who cares? Get the talent here. That is the point. If you're going to do that for Kyle Tucker, you could have done that for Pete Alonso, and you definitely could have done that for Edwin Diaz. And I know, stop whining about those two guys. But that's the point here, is they're not doing anything to make the team better. And people sit there and argue, and please argue. Tell me where I'm wrong here. This team is not better. Sean Manaea is still the ace of the team right now. I mean, you could say McClain, but really, he's pitched 8 games. 8 games in Major League Baseball. Are we really going to rely on him to be the ace next year? It's Sean Manaea. It's Clay Holmes. It's Kodai Senga. It's David Peterson. It's all these pitchers that we said and go, oh, they're not very good. They're 5-inning pitchers. We're going to go through the same strategy again of like, hey, let's build. Let's build a bullpen and hopefully they can get there. It is not a good offseason for David Stearns. I'm sorry. And you're right. Like, whether they signed him or not, I was going to be critical. I would have been very cheerful if they ended up getting ended up getting Kyle Tucker. I would have cheered. I wouldn't have done a Juan Soto flip. I wouldn't have screamed, oh, we got it. No, Kyle Tucker makes the Mets better. At least makes them competent. At least makes the lineup full, for crying out loud. We don't even have positions yet at every spot. We don't have players at every position. Think about that. There's still positions that we have holes in right now, complete holes. No one is in the outfield. We have 2 guys, Tyrone Taylor and Juan Soto. You're going to say Carson Bench? I'm going to tell you he's not ready. Okay? That's not what you do. That is a poor man's game we're playing here. Tyrone Taylor, Carson Bench, and Juan Soto in the outfield? Give me a break. It is embarrassing so far what David Stearns has done this offseason. And you can't tell me otherwise. So, Kyle Tucker, I'm not upset that you're not a Met. I'm upset with the philosophy of this offseason. And if this was the ticket, if this is how you're going to play, and this is the ticket, and this is the game you're going to play, and you see something like this that is a quote-unquote deal and a steal, then you got to pounce and deliver, and you didn't do it. You let him go to the Dodgers, who already is a stacked team. Clearly, payroll means absolutely nothing to them. And again, Shohei Ohtani doesn't even show up on the books. Talk about the craziest cheat code of all time. Now, listen, I know a lot of you guys are sitting here listening to this and going, I really wanted to hear Evan on his Rico. And so did I. I texted, I called him. He is now on a new schedule, and he is probably sleeping. I'm going to give him a call again. I'm going to effort to wake his ass up. I'm sure that once he wakes up, it could be in 5 minutes. It could be in an hour. It could be at 2 a.m. He's going to see my text, and he's going to be very, very upset. Not that I want to do a Rico, but because Kyle Tucker is not a New York Met and that he signed to the Dodgers out of all freaking teams. I mean, I guess in some way you're saying, hey, at least he's not a Brave. At least he's not a National. At least he's not a Philly or a Marlin, which would never happen. But at least he's not in the NL East. But he went to the Dodgers. I mean, you're talking about a team that is stacked already. What are we doing? Like, they're a juggernaut. And it's not like it's easy to slay. We see how last year they were at the trade deadline subtracting pieces from the team because they have so much excess talent that they needed to trade away starting pitching because they were getting all their guys back. It is a major cheat code what's going on with the Dodgers. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying they found the cheat code. And they have best player in baseball in Shohei Ohtani. They have Mookie Betts, who's one of the best players in baseball. And now they get another guy in Kyle Tucker. So congratulations to the Dodgers, to Kyle Tucker, and not the Mets fans. So we will be talking about this all day tomorrow on WFAN, right now on WFAN. I'm sure Tommy Lugauer is sitting there and praising David Stearns and being as I would love to hear Tommy right now. Spin this positive. Oh, well, at least we don't have to pay $60 million a year for Kyle Tucker. I don't want to have another losing season. So I don't care how much money you pay players. How about that? Bring a winning product. You watching this right now, did you go to this? Did you go to games last year? Did you get season tickets? Did you go to like half the ball games? Whatever it is. If you filled the stands last year, like Steve Cohen asked, then who cares if Kyle Tucker is worth $60 million? Who cares the amount of money? Go build a team that is going to contend for a championship. Not get into the playoffs or skate around. Maybe we get in. No, championship. That is the expectations. Thank you for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. I am Pete Hoffman. Please follow me at Hoff WFAN. Go, listen tomorrow on the Carton Show, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WFAN. We'll be on SNY 4 to 6 p.m. Evan, whenever I get his ass up, we will do a Rico Bronya. But if not, for some reason, if he can't do one because he's just sleeping till 10 a.m., he'll be on air tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Tiki. And then I'll be also hosting 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on my normal Saturday morning shift. And then, just cycle it up with the Rico Bronias and the WFAN dailies and all that other stuff. I'm not happy. I'm not. And I can't tell what I'm more upset about. Is it just the fact that the Dodgers keep on getting better? If it's just the fact that David Stearns is failing the fan base? Or is it just the fact that, we got used? And that's part of it too. But we'll have time to sit there and wallow in our misery. David Stearns, you're on the clock. Do something. All right. You guys have a good night. Again, follow me at Hoff WFAN on all social media. And get ready. Also coming up soon on WFAN Daily, a special interview with the one, the only John Anik of UFC, play-by-play for UFC pay-per-views and fight nights. They are now Paramount Plus starting January 24th for UFC 324. I'm looking forward to it. He joins me in the studio. We have a good time. Go check that out. That'll be out very, very soon. Thank you again for listening. Follow me at Hoff WFAN, like, subscribe, all this stuff, and I will see you guys later. And have a good night. Go to sleep. Get some sleep. Bye.